Welcome back. Laura Jane here with little TuneYOU TV, as I'm having fun calling it. And I have Cuddles here with me. You can see her tail at least. Um, and I decided I'm going to really start these videos from where I'm at. I knew I wanted to record something today, and really I think it's so even more cool for me to share from where I'm at, to be a little more authentic and raw and vulnerable and real, and not show up here all perfect necessarily, because that's not really realistic, is it? So anyways, but about tuning ourselves, I'm convinced as ever. And I was fortunate to have few cool conversations today with a few different people that I'm getting to work with right now and share things like yoga and meditation with. And some of the things that came up that seem important, well, first of all, I started my day with, it was one of those mornings where I woke up and I could see that there was some anxiousness, some anxiety. And, and really, that's some of the truth of life, isn't it? Like, even as we solve one thing, there's always going to be a next thing that's going to come up. Like, really, I'm seeing that each day, that's just life, that there's always going to be something that might feel like challenge, that we might call contrast. So it's going to be the next thing for us to move through. So whether it's about figuring it out or allowing it or moving through it or solving something, there's always going to be that next thing. So it's not really probably ever going to be about just waking up some days and having nothing you could worry about, right? There's always something that we could worry about, and maybe something even that we're wanting to work towards each day and even solve. So today was one of those days where I woke up with some awareness of some of those things. And so my yogi approach, my tuning me approach was that, it was even more important for me today to fit in some things to shift that. So I did start with spending some time just listening to myself in what I could call meditation, which today really was just like going back into bed with the blankets over me, but being awake there with my eyes closed for about an hour, just listening to myself. And Cuddles is reminding me to not get too into this story. um, but yeah, so I did that, and then I got up and I noticed I could still use maybe some more tuning towards how I'd like to feel. So I remembered how much gratitude helps me. So I got back to some of my basics with using gratitude and appreciation. I really love the book The Magic lately by Rhonda Byrne, which has a whole bunch of cool gratitude appreciation exercises as a really cool way to tune ourselves, to reset our focus, to get back into what we're feeling thankful for. And it sounds so corny and like we've all done it and seen it and are doing it, we think, but it's really truly like magical how much it can change our vibe, really lift us, and change our energy and what we're even bringing in. So I purposely spent some extra time in some gratitude practices this morning. I think I did. I think I used her practice, which is called a way to handle like a magic way out of negativity, even. And yeah, it was about finding things to be glad about within something that even feels stressful or worrisome. So I made myself a list, because I know for me, coming to the journal, writing on the page is a really powerful way for me to focus and tune in and bring my attention and awareness and play with the energy of what we even now know about, especially pen to paper, that there's like 10,000 things within our body that get activated when we take pen to paper and add that to our whatever that we're thinking about or focusing on. So I did do pen to paper with some gratitude exercises, as corny as that sounds, and doing this thing called the glad game, which is like finding things to be glad about within the situation. So that felt great, and even includes, to me, I see that's like a yoga thing too, because it includes a use of like words or mantra and what we're saying to ourselves, what we're thinking, even what we're writing. So I did some of that, and that felt great. And then I also did fit in my mat practice, because I find fitting in my 15 to 20-minute personalized mat practice is a huge part of how I tune myself these days, and really always makes me feel better and handles the energy of it all. Um, and then, yeah, but I got to have these great conversations with a few different people who are friends and yoga meditation clients. And some of the things that came up that seem relevant here are, yes, the power of the morning and doing things in our mornings to tune ourselves undoubtedly can be important. So fitting in things that we know center us and refresh us and strengthen us. So yeah, like for me, that means I'd like my first few hours to be able to be about things that I know tune me. And at this point, I know it's things like my mat practice and my use of just sitting meditation and just watching the show of my mind. um, and loving myself through what I notice and feel. Ow, Cuddles is really like trying to tell me something here. What's up, girl? She says too much. Blah, 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 mom. um, yeah, so things that bring me into the body too, which I'm realizing is so important with a reconnecting for so many of us these days. I really got that at the Kyle Cease weekend this last couple weeks ago. One of the many things I got from that was how disconnected most of us are from our bodies, and how that's just not where it's at, because our body is such a part of how we're meant to sense and even experience the world. So anything we can do to reconnect with our bodies seems really helpful. I did some walking, and yeah, so walking is one of my tools. Yeah, so in with these conversations with clients, though, I found one of the biggest things I was bringing, though, was just this reminder of a compassion for ourselves too, that we're going to have our own way with how we move through things, and even with what we build in as our ways to tune ourselves. So to have our own style about it, and whether that means early mornings for you or late nights or whatever, but just to be willing to let it be your own. And that kind of goes along with the own in it thing, that it's, to me, super important to let ourselves be personal about what it is and unique that tunes us. So yeah, one of my clients, my friend today, Kari, one of the things she knows is one of her practices that really centers her and is even a spiritual practice for her, and a part of her yoga and meditation, is spending time with her horse and going and walking with her horse, or actually riding her horse, and all the elements of that that are part of her tuning. So I love that as such an example. So I really encourage you to tune into what it is for you that does that, and being brave and willing to build that in more into your days. And yes, that I am going to vote for mornings are important. So whatever time of day your morning is, that how we start our days can be really powerful with how we feel all day long, how our days go, how everybody else even seems. So it's crazy cool how much starting our days and making it about tuning ourselves can be a huge way to change our lives if we want to, and really enjoy the ride a lot more, I would say. So tuning ourselves with things like the gratitude and appreciation, and playing with that a lot more, I would vote for. And realizing the power of our mornings is something that I think has a big influence on how our days go, how our things flow, how our moments with others go. And yeah, undeniably, still, to build in time to listen to ourselves makes it easier to listen to everybody else all day long. So finding ways to do that for yourself, yes, yes, as part of your tuning. So thank you for listening. and being in on it with me, and even meeting me right where I'm at. So I thought it could be cool to add some elements of practice to this if you'd like that. So some of the things I might do, like in a moment like now, to tune myself even more is to do some simple things like just relax more into where I'm at. Like I can feel there's always more room for relaxing with my body, and softening the muscles of my face and jaw, and even smiling is a great idea, it turns out, because the relaxing of the face and jaw relaxes the rest of the nervous system and calms us down, chills us out. But also, we now know smiling is a really cool way to boost serotonin, which is one of those feel good chemicals that sometimes even we get prescribed with the meds for some of our mood disorders. So, just to intentionally add a little bit, even of like a half smile, is a very uh, yogi thing to do, it turns out. Teachers like Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddhist monk who teaches a lot about meditation and a peaceful, happy lifestyle, talk about the power of like a simple thing like a easing of the face and jaw and a little bit of a half smile. So you can be willing to be weird and walk around with your half smile or your big smile. Yeah, and even the elements of things like breath, knowing that you can always add that a little bit more, and that helps. I'm a big fan of just breathing into the belly a little bit more, like we were born breathing, like babies breathe, and using our exhales a little bit more, because a lot of us are shortchanging the exhale. So to take a bigger belly breath in and to just exhale more of it out of your mouth or nose. And all of that I'm very into personalizing. And just with your body, the simplicities of just listening to your body, maybe more. So shifting your position so it feels better, and starting to listen more when it's time to rest. And if you're really noticing that you're feeling out of whack, then maybe being open to what you might start to move towards to get you back in alignment. So, yeah, those are some simple ideas. All right, thank you so much for being here. And I'm super stoked to share some of what I'm realizing with tuning me, helping you tune you, and super happy to be here. See you next time. Namaste. Cuddles says goodbye too.